Hi everyone, welcome to Module 9. With Module 9, we'll be beginning our third project, which focuses on water. In this module, you'll be asked to annotate or take notes on a resource about water, to discuss ideas about water issues, and to develop a working thesis statement for an editorial on water. So in the module, you're going to see several resources about water and water issues. You're asked to select one of those resources. If it's a text resource, you should use Scribble to annotate it. If it is a video resource, you should complete a page of Cornell notes for the video that you watch. And so the purpose of this assignment is to gather information about a water issue. So with your editorial that you'll write for your project 3, you'll be asked to write an editorial about a specific water issue that is impacting people. Remember that when you annotate using Scribble, you should identify parts that you find interesting, interesting quotes. You should also summarize the sections of the text that you're reading, note any confusing parts, and define any new terminology. So if you're using different colors and highlighting, it's helpful to highlight specific parts. So for instance, this person has chosen to highlight things that they find interesting in blue, and then they're adding comments to explain why they find these pieces interesting. Ideas that are new to them, something new that they're learning, are marked in green. Anything that's confusing is marked in yellow, and then there's a note added about why the person found it confusing, notes added about why these pieces are new to them, and then difficult sections marked. And so you'll develop your own annotation system that works best for you, but it's important to, whenever you highlight a section of text, to include a note to explain why you're highlighting that. That is because we'll be coming back to these annotations in the next couple weeks, and you may not remember why you highlighted specific sections if you don't add notes. Also, as I'm reading your annotations, it's very difficult for me to know why you're highlighting unless you also add comments. And so again, if you choose one of the text resources, you'll use Scribble to annotate and really consider what you find interesting about the piece, what kind of evidence you might use if you write an editorial on a similar topic, and any personal reactions you may have as you're reading. If you complete Cornell notes, this would be for one of the videos in the course. And so you'll watch the video, include your name, our class, and date on the top right corner. Double-click in this box here to add the title of the source, and notice that there are 2 columns here in Cornell Notes. So on the left side, when we complete Cornell Notes, we list the main ideas or questions that we can develop as we're listening to a resource. You can pause the video, right, and identify the main ideas that you're hearing about, or write questions based on what you're hearing in the video or seeing in the video. And then on the right side is where we take our notes. And so we identify a main idea and then we take notes about it on the right side, or we list questions here and we answer the questions in our notes on the right side. And so this is a form of note taking that helps you identify the most important information that you're hearing and seeing in the video. And so you can choose either to annotate a text or to create a sheet of Cornell notes about a video. After reviewing the resources that are listed in the Module 9 discussion, then you should participate in the discussion about one of those resources. It's okay if it's the same resource that you've used for your annotation or note-taking assignment. And so now you're kind of discussing what you learned from the source and what you noticed from it. You're asked to write a 1-sentence or up to 2-sentence summary of the resource that you explored. Your summary should include the title of the piece, the author or the creator, and the main idea of the source. And so try to develop in 1 or 2 sentences a summary about this video or text resource that you've explored. Then explain what you think is the purpose of the piece. So is the purpose to inform or educate people about something? Is it to analyze an issue? Is it to evaluate the action someone has taken for an issue? Do you think the resource is persuasive? Is it trying to convince people to do something? And so what do you think the reason or the purpose of the resource is? Explain why you think this, and then include a quote to support your answer. So here we're getting more practice with integrating quotes into our own writing. So you might write something like, this essay or this article is intended to educate readers about this topic. I can tell this because of when the author writes this quote, right? Put it in quotation marks. So you're getting some practice with integrating quotes into your writing. And then, do you believe this issue is important? Why or why not, right? And then also include a quote to support your answer to question 3. So again, you're getting some more practice with quotes. Your first post is due by Thursday at the end of the day. And then by the end of the week on Sunday, please comment on 2 peers' posts. You can respectfully explain why you agree or disagree. You could ask them questions about their ideas. You could share your own perspective, but make sure to support your response with specific examples and details. And so rather than just saying, I think you did a great job, good work. What did you like about what your classmate shared, right? Or why do you agree? What's one specific reason? Or what's some questions you can ask your classmate to encourage them to invest more ideas into this topic. So here's where we're kind of playing with some of the topics on water issues and kind of thinking about which topic you might explore for your editorial. Then you'll see that there's a working thesis statement assignment. And with this assignment, you're asked to develop a working thesis statement. A thesis statement, again, presents the main idea of your piece. And so as you're thinking about developing an editorial, editorials are pieces that educate readers about a topic and call for actions or persuade readers to do something. And so we want a strong thesis statement that presents the issue briefly and also explores kind of the solutions or the actions people might take to make the issue better. A weak thesis might be something like, people should conserve water. So this is a thesis, but it's not really strong yet. And that's because this thesis leaves many open questions. So why should people conserve water, or how, or who should do this, or where, right? It's difficult to tell what the writer will argue and explain. The thesis is vague right now. It's not specific. A strong thesis will focus on a specific issue. It will emphasize its importance, and it will argue for specific actions to address the issue. And so we do this just in 1 or 2 sentences at most. And so we need to be brief, but specific. And this takes a little bit of practice to do. If you find it helpful, I've included 2 thesis generators in our course. And so there's the thesis generator from the University of Arizona, and this is for an argumentative essay. You'll see that there are little blank areas where you can add in text, right, to kind of experiment with the thesis, but you'll probably need to revise it as you go. So it is, a computer program, so it is a little bit clunky, but it does give you some suggestions on how to create a thesis. There's also the SUNY Empire State College thesis generator. Make sure to choose like an argumentative or a persuasive thesis. If you use this generator, it gives you several different types of essays. We're writing a persuasive essay, which is an editorial. And so these will give you some help with thinking about your thesis. So we want our thesis to present briefly the issue we're addressing and the solutions or the actions that people can take to make this issue better. It will discuss your main points, and then after this, you're asked to give some ideas about the examples and details you might use to support your thesis. This is our first step in planning out the editorial assignment. If you'd like any help with this assignment, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you. Okay. And so you'll see a module checklist like always. You can reach me through email if you have any questions. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take care. Thanks. Bye.